This is China's only surviving female-led ritual and the last trace of a matrilineal world. Here, women are seen as a source of life, the bridge between heaven and earth. On this day, women sing freely while men do the housework. This is the Sama festival. What rituals does it hold? Do women here truly hold power? In Untold China Episode 3, we traveled to Rongjiang, Guizhou to witness the oldest and grandest festival of the Southern Dong people. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Bao Bao. Right now I'm in Rongjiang, Guizhou, and today is the biggest festival of Dong people, Sama festival. Sama in Dong language means the great-great-grandmother, and she is the most respected goddess in their culture. Every year, Dong people will hold ceremonies to honor her, and that's why we have this festival. There are many vivid folk stories about the origin of Sama. In different tellings, she is Jiang Mei, the ancestral mother of humanity, Xing Ni, a female hero who died defending the Dong people, or even Lady Shen, the powerful woman leader who once shaped southern China's history. These stories point to one woman or perhaps several real Dong women, whose lives were gradually woven together and abstracted into a single symbol, Sama. Over time, the deeds of female heroes merged with divine power. Through Sama, the Dong people carved ideas of moral goodness and unyielding courage into their collective identity. Today, her presence is embodied and worshipped at the Sama altar, standing at the spiritual center of the community. This is the Satan. Almost every Dong village has its own Satan or Samaci, which is the house of the grandma. The cool thing is there's no statue in it. Instead, there's just a half-open umbrella standing on a pile of stones. That's how they represent Sama. The umbrella stands for protection and the stone pile stands for unbreakable strength. A black umbrella, a stone altar, simple yet sacred. Within this simplicity lies the Dong people's most ancient view of the universe. Women are the source of life and the bridge between heaven, earth, and the spirits. That's why traces of matrilineal worldview have endured here for thousands of years, living on all the way to the Sama festival we see today. Early this morning, the women of each household begin to get ready, carefully grooming, dressing with ceremony, and preparing to walk to the Sama shrine to offer incense and tea. Each woman takes a sip of Sama tea, then tucks a small sprig of evergreen leaves into her hairband.在进场之前要到这边
吃茶嘛。
吃茶。那你们头上插这个是什么寓意啊？
这个古代我们都是这样的，我也不知道。
然后就要在这边喝杯茶，然后再带个花，再到场上去。您是哪个？Three iron cannon blasts follow, welcoming Sa out of the shrine, and the procession begins. At the very front are the only men allowed to take part in the ritual, 寨老. They strike gongs and carry bamao grass, symbolizing authority and used to cleanse the path and ward of evil. Behind them walks the Deng Sa, the woman responsible for the daily care of the Sama shrine. She holds a half-open Sama umbrella and leads the way. At this moment, she is a living embodiment of Sama herself. Following her are the women of every household. The long procession moves slowly through the village path, praying for peace and protection across the land. Sanbaodong village is made up of 9 small villages, each with its own Ransa, a Sama altar. At every Ransa, the procession stops. Everyone takes a sip of Sama tea and then continues onward.
Oh.
那咱们这个衣服每年也就是这些大型活动的时候。
大型活动才穿，一般都不穿的，很少穿。是有老人家都是要擦那个，我们还没到那里，都没有，要到那个。下雨了，下雨了。
哦，下了，一阵一阵的。
很赞了。
Suddenly, it starts to rain. There's a saying in Guizhou, 天无三日晴, which means the sky is never clean for 3 days in a row. Rain always arrives without warning.
到鲁村那个，那谁？那改上来了。把马路科，把公路那科。没得人，大家是没得上。哎，哎，没有了。我那边。
After the procession, people return to the village square to watch the Dong opera and hear Dong songs, waiting for the last and the most important moment of the ritual to begin. Sanbaodong village lies along the gentle Chejiang. Ancient banyan trees stand throughout the village, and for generations, life here has unfolded alongside mountains and rivers. From this landscape grew the core of Dong culture, living in harmony with nature, and nothing expresses that beauty more clearly than the Dong Grand Song. Its defining feature is 重低读高, a rich polyphonic structure, sung without instrument, without a conductor, and built entirely on multiple vocal parts. It holds a truly unique place in the world's musical heritage. In September 1986, a group of Dong girls from Guizhou, dressed in ancient, intricate costumes shimmering with silver, stepped hand in hand onto the world stage. Beneath the Eiffel Tower, their pure voices rose into the Paris night. That evening, they introduced the world to the beauty of Dong culture. Alongside it is Pipa song, another living fossil of Dong culture. The lyrics are often improvised. With gentle, winding melodies, master singers tell stories of Sama, ancestral migrations, the sweetness of love, and the sorrow of farewell. For the Dong people, the history is not written, it is sung. The Dong song performances were stunning, but what surprised me most was one unexpected performer. Yes, a robot had arrived at the festival. Guizhou is the only province in China without plains. Its mountains feel like they hold fragments of different timelines. Traveling through Guizhou is like moving through a wormhole in time. In its cities, urban life changes at lightning speed. On the open basin, cutting-edge data centers are rising, and the world's largest radio telescope, the FAST, stands here. Yet deep in the mountains, people dressed in costume passed down for 1,000 years sing and celebrate, dancing alongside one of today's most advanced embodied AI robots. Across Guizhou's mountainous landscape, ancient ways of life and contemporary civilization constantly overlap. What may feel jarring to outsiders is simply normal here. While waiting for the main ritual to begin, the villagers from 8th village didn't stay idle. They prayed through the village carrying a straw dragon. At the Sama festival, the straw dragon is essential. Its body is woven entirely from rice stalks, and its head is painted in bright, playful colors. It may look charming and almost childlike, but it carries deep meaning, reverence for nature and a prayer for a good harvest. Halfway through the procession, the dragon suddenly stopped. What happened? Up ahead, the villagers from 6th village are performing a common skate, blocking the way. This is the Tai Guan Ren, a comic performance where actors dressed as beggars compete to snatch money. It belongs to China's popular folk art. It's not refined or elegant, but it carries the raw, everyday humor and aesthetic of ordinary people. And of course, in a Dong performance, there must be singing in dialogue. But if you look closely at the casting, you may notice something interesting. Women play men, common villagers play the official or landlord, and the beggars rush in to seize landlord's money. Comedy at its core always mocks power from below, and this is no exception. Here, women from the lower social ranks wrap satire in laughter, quietly hiding criticism inside performance. So, perhaps we can return to the question raised at the beginning of this episode. Have the women in Sanbao escaped patriarchy? The answer is clearly no. The matrilineal clan system has long faded into history. What remains survives only in ritual, faint traces preserved in ceremonies like the Sama festival. In everyday life, within a patriarchy society, life is still not easy for many women here. Today, the religious aspect of the Sama festival has gradually softened. In some ways, it feels less like a sacred obligation and more like a real day of release. For one day, women can step outside their usual social roles. They dress in playful or even comical costumes, laugh loudly with their sisters, and simply enjoy being together. If that still feels abstract, let me share a story with you. With some time left before the final ritual, I met a grandmother with a warm smile. She's in her 70s. Sanbaodong village is made up of 9 villages, and she married from village 4 into village 5. She had spent her entire life right here.
我爸爸就讲读你是一个姑娘，你要引弟弟妹妹你不用读书去了，不用那个带弟弟妹妹了，我们就干活容易点了。他就说，
As the eldest daughter in her family, she had to take on responsibility early, caring for her younger siblings. She never went to school. Today, her life is calm and peaceful, but when she speaks about education, there's still a trace of regret.
我们回家的姑娘只有她是能干的，你怎么不送她去读书？弟弟我将要那个读书，不用哪个妹妹哪个大弟弟
Influenced by Sama culture, women in Sanbao traditionally hold a relatively higher status than in surrounding areas. But within a borderer patriarchy society, and under the long shadow of Confucian values, grassroots women have rarely held real power or voice. Like this grandma, many give up limited family resources to their brothers and sons, spending a lifetime bound by the expectations of motherhood. Perhaps she's once felt anger or injustice, but over time, it faded into a quiet sigh. Everyone was like this, she said.
今年好像没有人穿少了，往年很多。
今年人少了。
因为他们有的人上班了，好像请不了假。往年都是请假过来的，
在外地。
在这里也有人请假的，就是在这里上班也有人请假。就是他们每年都搞，我有几年没有做这个了，因为忙做生意嘛，有时候。也是。忙着卖点东西啊。现在我叫我儿子去帮我卖了，我就穿这个衣服。我都有2、3年没穿了。我表姐都特意从贵阳来的。
哇，那很不容易。
是啊。
Still, things have changed a lot in recent decades. China's rapid development has gradually improved women's lives. The hardworking, capable women of Sanbao now travel for work or build livelihoods through local tourism. Living standards have risen and so have choices. I'm generally happy for the girls here. Their futures are no longer defined solely by bloodness or gender. And the Sama, in a new form, is once again lightening the path forward for the women of the Dong village. At last, the Sama ritual begins. The ceremony unfolds in two parts, the offering and the Duoye. First comes the offering. The woman who lead each household enter the village square, circling the Sama shrine at its center. The Dengsa from each village step forward to present offerings at the altar. And then comes the final, most powerful moment, Duoye, one of humanity's oldest form of dance. There's no lead dancer. Thousands of women form concentric circles. They join hands, shoulder to shoulder, and move in synchronized steps. A lead singer chants verses praising Sama or celebrating life, and the circle echoes in a powerful, harmonious chorus. It's an act of rejoicing with Sama, a way for the community to entertain their ancestral spirit through collective joy, while also praying for her blessing for peace and prosperity. Circle after circle, the dancers move like the rings of a tree, engraving collective memory into the ground. In this rhythm, personal sorrow and joy seem to dissolve, becoming a shared tribute to life itself, and a quiet hope for what lies ahead.